Good morning. It's the Metaphysical Alchemist Transform 1111. Um, Excuse the hair. It's just the locks. I had to wrap them up, you know, with this and then a scarf. So my bad. But as you can see by the title, it's called Gratefulness. Grateful, thankful. Be grateful for the light and be grateful for the dark. Be grateful for the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, even in the dark, because a lot of people can't see the light in the dark. They don't think that light exists. If you close your eyes right now, doesn't mean that the sun is not still up. It just means you closed your eyes. But when you open your eyes, the sun is still there. Even at night, when the sun goes down and the moon rises, doesn't mean that you'll never see the sun again. If you don't wake up to see the next day, you won't see the sun again. But if you wake up to see the sun the next day, the sun will always exist. What it basically means is just because you can't see something don't mean it doesn't exist. You got to find it. And that's just how I think. So, gratefulness is what are you grateful for? Okay. Think about all the people in this world and how much worse it could be. Um, I have my hands, I have my mind, I have my feet, I have my legs, I have my knees, I have my thighs, I have my shoulders, I have my elbows. That alone is something to be grateful for. I have my health. Okay. I have my sight, even though, I wear glasses, but I still can see. I have my teeth. I have my teeth. They may be a little crooked, but they mine and they strong. Um, you know, and I have my life. So all of those things are worth more than what money can buy. Okay, you can't buy another foot, and if you do, it's going to be a prosthetic. You can't buy another knee, and if so, it's going to be a replacement. Heart, pacemaker. Okay, or just a heart that you're going to be on the list to get another heart. Liver, be thankful for your liver. Your lungs, be thankful for your small intestine, large intestine, your pancreas. Okay, it's a lot to be thankful for because it could always be worse. And that's how I look at stuff. That's how I look at life. Um, and so with the attitude of gratitude, that's what you see. Okay, in the dark, that's how you see in the dark through gratitude. Even if you may not see light in the tunnel, um, on that narrow road, you have the wide road and you have the narrow road. The narrow road, you don't see many people there. You won't see too many there at all. You won't even see your own family members there. The narrow road is probably going to be you walking it. And you may trip over a lot of logs and branches. You may slip over a lot of water and puddles, and you're just gonna have to get up. But you're gonna look over on the wide road and see a big group there, like a whole bunch of people. It's gonna look like it's so fun. But when you look ahead, you see destruction. You can see people falling off cliffs with no ending. They can't see it. They look at you and they see dark and they see a tunnel and a narrow road. They see you filling on walls with no light, tripping and falling all over the place, crawling sometimes because it get that bad. And, they'd be like, "Oh, that's lame. Oh, what you doing, man?" And it's like, but at the end of that tunnel is a beautiful light. The beginnings are painful, but the endings are well worth it in the end. I'd rather have a painful beginning and a beautiful ending than a beautiful beginning and a very painful ending. I'd rather, even if I can't necessarily see that light, I know it's there. Just like I said, you close your eyes right now. The sun is up where I am. Where you're at, it might be night. But just because your eyes is closed and you can't see something doesn't mean it does not exist. So that's what they say about faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's things that you can't see but you know exist. If it exists for everybody, it exists for you too. It just may not be your time. And that's how I do. I'm a deep thinker. And I be looking at that. I look at the wide road and the narrow road or the path less traveled and the path often traveled. The path often traveled, a lot of stuff happens there that you don't see because it's quickly covered up. The path less traveled, people are afraid to travel that path because they don't know what's in it. It's like a door that's it's like the door has all these different cracks on it, broken glass. So people are like, "Oh no, I don't want to go in that door." Of course, because the narrow path is never going to be made to look interesting anyway. It's going to be the most uninteresting path to walk, or so it appears. You learn about yourself on the narrow road. You learn about yourself. You learn everything you need to know about yourself, good and bad. You know what makes you tick and you know what makes you click. You know what makes you happy and sad. You know what makes you frustrated. You get to know yourself on the narrow path. You have no you that's what you're gonna do. People that go to prison, they can either get to know themselves in there, learn their lesson, get out and change, or they can go in there, think it's a game, get out, keep doing the same junk. Okay? Narrow paths come in many different forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be you thinking you're all thinking you're better. Nobody's better than nobody. I'm telling you that. Some people narrow paths happen in unexpected ways. Like people that's been living a life of fast life their whole life, find themselves in prison. They got nothing but time to read. They can either read not to manipulate others when they get out. They can read to educate themselves, get out and change their life. Okay. And then some people are forced into narrow paths, and some people choose a narrow path. I personally chose a narrow path. It has not been fun. It has not been no joyride. It's been plenty of days I've been like, how in the world, man? I don't know what in the world I'm gonna do. You know, the narrow path. I've had people shouting at me from the wide road, telling me I'm a fool for getting on the narrow path. That's what you get for choosing a narrow path. Told you that was a dumb mistake. Look at you. You should have just stayed. Like you should just got on the wide path road. You a fool for getting on the narrow path. You idiot. It's like, and I'd be laughing. It's like, you know what? It's all good. Cause guess what? The narrow road look like. It don't be no flowers. It don't be no grass. You be walking on dirt, you know? It don't be no water. It be to the point sometimes you be feeling dehydrated. It be like the tongue be sticking to the roof of your mouth. You be so sometimes that's how it be. And you'll look over on the wide road, you see everybody drinking water in your face, like, "Look, look, 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 look. That's what you get, fool. You could have been drinking this, and it's just like, wow. So then you get frustrated and you be cussing, you be getting mad. I do. I be cussing. I be getting mad. You get mad at yourself, you get mad at the path you chose, and you're like, "Is it worth it? Like, what? I thought that this was the way to go. I thought that I was doing the right thing. I thought that my life was gonna be so much better than it is. I thought that if I chose this path, that things would happen for me." And you look over at the wide road, and it's like everything happening for those that chose the wide road. And you see what happened, and you see what they do, and you know stuff that you keep to yourself. Even though you can know the dirt that they do, some real dirt, you keep it in your soul, even though they may spill dirt on you. Ain't no dirt to spill. They may say, "Look, this person fell." That's the only dirt you get because you ain't gonna get no dirt on me, right? And they dirt, you keep it in your soul until forever. And I'm on the narrow road. Everybody can pick. They see you on the narrow road because there's too many people there. You stand out like a sore thumb. The narrow road is like a train track, okay, going through a tunnel. Okay, no, a train hasn't been on that track for years, right? So it's not like you're gonna get ran over by a train. You just walking on the track, and then you go through this tunnel that's really, really dark. You don't see nothing. You don't hear nothing. You don't see nothing. You don't see not one human being. It seems like it, and so you just be feeling like feeling on walls in the dark, trying to get like a flint to make a light, something. You can't see nothing, and you just got to go off of memory. You remember that path. You tried it, right? And so you be like, okay, how am I going? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Every now and then you come across people on that path that you never thought would be on the narrow path too. Like, what? You oh snap! You get happy, but then y'all go different ways. You part ways. It doesn't, and it ain't on bad terms either. And that's the good thing about it. You'll see them again, but they got a journey to take, and you do too. So they might turn left. You might keep going straight. 'Cause they have some things to learn, and you do too. On the narrow path, it's few people on it. Not many people bold enough and brave enough to go there. I'm telling you. That's about self-discovery, self-transformation and evolution. It's about knowing who you are. It's not about your mom. It's not about your dad. Not about your siblings, your cousins. It's about none of them. Because they'll be the ones pulling you over to the wide road and laughing at you when you fail. I'd rather fall and fail a million times on the narrow road because I'm trying to know who I am, not because of doing wrong. Okay? Because on the wide road, they can watch you fall many times and watch you get up every time. You be weak. You be dehydrated, you be tired, you be frustrated, you be about to just, man, they watch it. It's like they watching you as entertainment on TV. You become the television broadcast. You become their favorite channel. You become the soap opera. You become the tragedy. You become the comedy. You become the drama. They watching, right? And you look over and you be like, dang, man, if I could just, whoo, just one real one, right? It don't mean you need to turn into the wide road. It don't mean you need to get off track either. It's light at the end of the tunnel. It's a light you can't see. The light is in you. People can see it. Sometimes your light dim and flicker. And when it dims and flicker, you got to be your own cheerleader. You got to be your own cheerleader. You got to be your own motivation. When everybody booing you and don't know you, they booing you, they your motivation. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. Because it's weird that the boos turn to claps when you become somebody. All of a sudden, people that was booing you suddenly cheering you on when you become a star. But you get booed behind the scenes when they don't see what's going on behind the scenes. So what's going on? That's just how I feel. I'm a deep thinker. I go through stuff that people probably would laugh at. Simplicity. You know, basic training is something that I was interested in. All my life, I wanted to do basic training, climb those walls, the barbed wire. And you know what? Life is funny. I've always been a military minded person. I don't need too much, and I'm a woman. I don't need too much. All I want to do is be happy. I just want to be happy. So here's the funny thing about life, man. I always wanted to do that. And life brought me basic training. Basic training is preparation for what is yet to come, right? That's what basic training is. Basic training is about PTing, keeping your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, your energy up because you don't know what's getting ready to happen later on down the line. You're going to have to do that. Guess what? I got my backpack on, everything I need for that day to get where I need to go. It'd be hot outside. I still got to walk. It's basic training. And I get there. That's how I look at my life. I've been having basic training from the day I was cut out my mom womb. Think quick, stay on your toes. Wipe your tears, suck it up. Stay focused. Don't lose balance. If you fall, get up. What you crying for? Get it right. Tighten up. That's been my life. Basic training. And the people I come across in my life, I look at them as either being drill sergeants. I don't look at them any other way. I don't look at them in no negative light. I look at them like this. Everybody that you meet is for a reason. Because if it would be the military, guess what? They'd be all up in your face trying to break you. That's what the military does. It breaks you down to put in you what they want to make you into the soldier they want. So that's what it is out here in this life. And I look at people like that. At the end, like when you finish and you graduate from basic training, that's when you celebrate. You don't celebrate before then because you got to start all over plenty of times. So when I get older, I'm gonna be telling people about this. It'll be a story I can tell people about how many times it takes to start over, starting over, the narrow road. I'd rather be on the narrow road, even if it's ugly, even if it hurt, even if it's painful, even if it's and I'm not going to change that. I'm change myself, but I'm not gonna go on the wide road. I got plenty of family members on the wide road celebrating right now. It's gonna come to a tragic end. They don't see the train wreck waiting to happen. They laughing at me to tell me I'm crazy, all types of things. Man, I done told them stuff. I done dreamed stuff didn't happen. I've always been that way. Nobody listened. It happened. I dreamt of my sisters, tried to tell them. They ain't listen. It happened. Accident after accident after accident. They laughing. So I learned to stay to myself. I'm not finna be made a joke out of, right? I done dreamt about it. Pretty much a lot of people in my family line, the same ones that be laughing at me. It's the same ones I still have a heart to tell, hey, watch out, be careful. They look and laugh. Who are you telling? You can't tell me to be careful. All right. All right. Next thing you know, I hear word out in the world. Something happened to him. Right? I've always been that type to dream stuff and it happened. Okay? That's what you do on the narrow road. And sometimes life don't make sense. Sometimes it don't make sense. It don't. You can live a life that's foul and things happen right. It's because it's let me tell you something about that'll make people feel that it's the right thing to do. Don't be fooled. If you live a foul life and good things happening, it's because it's enticing them to keep living that life and eventually take them out quick. They won't even recognize it. Foul lives come to a foul ending. You know, I'd rather stay on the narrow path. If you on the narrow path, stay on the narrow path. Don't get off of it. Don't be detoured from it. Even if you're the only one in your family that's over there and the other one's over there laughing at you, you stay on that narrow path because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You go over there where it's glittering and gold, you be made a fool of in the end. It's gonna come to a train wreck. You don't wanna get ran over by no train. So, I just wanted to put that out there. Stay on the narrow path, don't get on the wide road, keep your head up, and be yourself. Deuce.